Thank you so much for joining me on this edition of the Late the W podcast. As always, I'm your host, Mahal. Make sure you leave a like, subscribe, leave a 5-star review, all of that fantastic jazz. If it's your first time joining, make sure you follow on social media at Late the W pod on all of that. Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, we're active on all of those. So without further ado, let's sound the horn and get into this episode.
The pitch from Acevedo.
Swung on the line down the left field line for a base hit. Fly ball, gap, right center field.
Double him up at second.
Luke is going back to the 1-8 track. Get out the right, run and mustard, grandma. It is grand salami time.
And we send Seattle to the American League Championship Series for the first time in 24 years.
Series 1 of the 2026 Seattle Mariners season is in the books. And I'm here to talk about that series, as well as the upcoming series that the Seattle Mariners have against the New York Yankees at the beginning of this week at T-Mobile Park. This is episode 135, and as always, I am your host, Mahal Domingo Anderson. And it is time to rock and roll on episode 135. All right, let's start with the Cleveland series. And let's start with the good. You split the series. At the very minimum, you needed to split the series. You won 2 out of 4 games. You won the second game on Friday night. You won the 4th game tonight. And you won tonight in dominant fashion. I'm recording this Sunday, March 29th. The Mariners just won 8-0 in the series finale against Cleveland. They gave up just 2 hits, and Emerson Hancock threw 6 scoreless, 6 hitless innings, giving up just 2 base runners on a hit by pitch and a walk. And the good from the series is that prior to the season, we talked about Cole Young, we talked about Dom Canzone, we talked about Luke Raley as guys that needed to break out, as guys that needed to bounce back in the case of Luke Raley, and guys in the case of Dom Canzone that need to just be able to repeat close to what they did last season. Well, good news. Those guys have been very, very good so far. 6 home runs between the 3 of those guys. Young has 1. Canzone has a pair that were both on opening night. And Raley has 3. The 3 of those guys have all been very good. Young added another hit tonight. And Brendan Donovan has been very, very good at the top of the Mariners lineup. Had a 3-run homer tonight that broke this game open from a 1-0 to a 4-0 lead. And that's when the Mariners never turned back. It was the Brendan Donovan home run. And not only is he getting on base in front of your big hitters in Cal, Julio, Naylor, Randy, but the guys in front of him are getting on base at the bottom of the order, which is allowing him to drive in runs as well. And that's a pretty good formula. If this offense and this team wants to go to the places that it expects to go and the places that it dreams of going. So far, so good from the Mariners players that you weren't really sure about heading into this year. Now, Brendan Donovan's in a different camp just because he was a new addition. And Emerson Hancock's another guy that you don't know what to expect from him. And you can throw him into that as a guy that has really shown up and shown out. And that started tonight. A dominant outing against the Cleveland Guardians for him. And not just dominant, historic. Historically dominant by him. Didn't give up a run. Quality start, 6 innings. Gave up just 1 walk, 0 hits, 9 strikeouts. And Dan Wilson does the right thing and goes with Cooper Criswell with a 7-run lead and lets Cooper Criswell fill out the final 3 innings. And Dan Wilson is going to be a talking point all season. He's going to be a talking point during this episode. But tonight specifically, surprisingly to me, he actually did the right thing with his bullpen management. He let Hancock do what he needs to do, and then instead of trying to keep the no-hitter intact and go with some of these high-leverage bullpen arms that have thrown a lot of pitches already and that you're going to need in this Yankees series, he went with Criswell for 3 full innings. And Criswell went 3 innings, didn't give up a run, gave up just 2 hits, didn't walk a batter, and had 5 strikeouts. More than you could have expected, more than you could have asked for from Cooper Criswell, who gets his first save, technically, because he made it 3 innings. But you look across the board tonight. Brendan Donovan had a pair of hits. Randy Arozarena had a pair of hits. Canzone, Raley, Young, Rivas all had a hit. Even Cal Raleigh fucking had a hit. Julio Rodriguez, Josh Naylor, the only hitters in the Mariners lineup that didn't have a hit tonight. And that's the storyline of this entire weekend. The guys you don't expect to be good were good. But the guys you expect to be good weren't. Cal Raleigh doesn't have a hard hit baseball yet. Julio Rodriguez has just 2. Josh Naylor has just 3. And these guys weren't just bad. They were like really bad. Cal Raleigh this season, 15 at-bats, has 10 strikeouts. Julio Rodriguez, another guy, 6 strikeouts and 15 at-bats, just 1 hit. He has 3 walks. Josh Naylor doesn't have a hit yet. Just 3 strikeouts, 3 walks. But these guys are going to find their form. Am I worried about Cal Raleigh, Julio Rodriguez, and Josh Naylor? No. And if you could have asked me, would I rather have what just happened with the Mariners lineup this last weekend, or would I rather have just seen Cal Raleigh, Julio Rodriguez, and Josh Naylor carry the team? I would rather have just seen what I just saw. Because the Mariners easily should have won 3 of those 4 games. And maybe they should have swept that series. If not for the manager. And if not for just struggling to hit with runners in scoring position. You look at Saturday night's ball game. Brian Wu with a good start. Now that 6th inning for him, a little bit of a struggle. He gives up 2 runs. But you left 11 runners on base. You were 2 for 14 with runners in scoring position. That's why you lost the game. Not because of the bullpen management per se. That didn't help. Bizzardo should not have been facing Stephen Kwan with a pair of runners on. And with 2 outs. And Gabe Spire hot and ready to go. Spire should have been in that ball game. And you should have won that ball game. The Mariners should be 3-1 right now as they head in to face the Yankees this week. And they haven't even really gotten going. The back end of their bullpen has given up runs. Spire and Munoz both have given up runs. Ferrer's only thrown once. Brash has only thrown once. Bizzardo's given up runs. Your starters have been very good. 3 quality starts out of 4, and that's with pitch limits. They took a step forward thus far. In the bottom half of your lineup, plus your leadoff hitter, have been dominant, have been great, have produced everything for you. You scored 8 runs Sunday, 5 runs Saturday, 5 runs Friday, and 4 runs Thursday. They haven't scored less than 4 runs in a ball game yet. I think that that's pretty freaking good for this Mariners ball club. If you're telling me they score 4+ runs every game out of 162, now that's not going to happen, but theoretically, they're going to win a lot of freaking ball games. And if you're telling me Cole Young, Luke Raley, Dom Canzone are doing what they're doing, and Brendan Donovan setting the table he is, and then you get J.P. Crawford back, this team's going to win a lot of ball games. Now they're going to need some help at the back of their bullpen at some point for sure. But Cole Wilcox has looked good. Casey Legumina actually has looked pretty solid. And Cooper Criswell has looked very good though so far. Criswell's only had 2 outings. Wilcox 1, Legumina 2. But when their name has been called, and they've strolled out to the mound, they've been good. It's just about the guys that you expect to be good in your bullpen and in your lineup to produce. And I feel pretty confident that at some point that is going to happen, and very likely at some point in the month of April that begins in just a couple days. Mariners face the Yankees this week. That's a good team. That's a team that just won 3 straight games against the San Francisco Giants. But that's a team that doesn't have the depth that this Mariners team has. And if you get Julio, Cal, Naylor, just one of those guys going, it's going to be a long series, I think, for this Yankees ball club. But Julio's hitting the ball harder. Naylor had a couple nice hits and pieces on tonight. Cal put a couple decent swings on. Were they hard to hit balls? No. But the swings were better tonight, and they had just 2 strikeouts between the 3 of them. Well, each of them also had a walk. That's a step in the right direction. That's an improvement already. Those 3 guys are going to be fine. They are going to be totally fine. And that is why this team has the expectations that it does. And that's why this team feels like it can be as good as it can be. The one thing that it feels like could hold them back is Dan Wilson. I talked about Bizzardo and Spire on Saturday night and how Spire wasn't in facing the top of the order, which is lefty and Quan, lefty and DeLauder, switch hitter and Jose Ramirez, but you just needed one out. Trust Spire to go get that out. Bizzardo's walked and given up a hit with back-to-back guys. He's allowed the 9-hitter to get on after getting 0-2 ahead of him. You got to manage your bullpen better, and you got to manage your platoons better as well. This is a team that's going to be reliant on some platoons because they have really talented platoon hitters. Dom Canzone, Luke Raley, Rob Refsnyder. But what that means is if you pinch hit Dom Canzone in the 6th inning, do not pull him for a guy that shouldn't be on the major league roster in Ryan Bliss late in the ballgame. Ryan Bliss doesn't have an at-bat yet this season. He doesn't have a pro ball at-bat since he got injured a year ago. That is not his place to be in that ballgame at all. It's a disrespect to him to put him in that situation. It's the bottom of the 9th inning. You are down a run, and Cole Young had a leadoff double, and Ryan Bliss strikes out. It's the bottom of the 7th. You've just given up the lead, and you pinch hit Ryan Bliss for Dom Canzone, and you're losing this ballgame. Dom Canzone's going to get another at-bat here in this ballgame, and they're using a lefty here in the 7th. Let the guy that has more at-bats, that you trust more, get that at-bat. Give Canzone a shot. And if he strikes out, fine. He does the same thing that Ryan Bliss did. And it came back to bite them. They lost the game. They needed that base runner on. It's a different ball game if Canzone is hitting instead of Bliss against Cade Smith. I trust him to, at the very least, probably put a fly ball out there that Cole Young can tag from 2nd to 3rd. Now, you got the run anyway, but it's a different situation. It's a tougher at-bat for Cade Smith. That's how you got to be thinking about this, not just right now in this moment. What about the rest of this ball game? He's very likely going to get another at-bat. It's frustrating because they should have won 3 of these 4 games, and it felt like Dan Wilson was the thing that held them back. And it's like he hasn't learned over the offseason. Now, he has time this season. He does. But this is going to be a constant discussion point that I just don't want to have to talk about. And for that reason, let's move on to the Yankees series. So the Yankees, 3-0 so far this season. They played San Francisco in San Francisco and swept them. They're currently ranked first in ERA from both their starting pitchers and their bullpen. Injury-wise, they're missing Carlos Rodon, Garrett Cole, Anthony Volpe. You're going to face their 4, 1, and 2 starters because they're running with a 4-man rotation right now. Ryan Weathers, Max Fried, Cam Schlittler. It's going to be difficult. It's going to be a good series. You face back-to-back lefties on Monday and Tuesday, which means Robles and Refsnyder, you're going to get an opportunity here. It means Julio, you're going to get an opportunity. It means Mitch Garver, you'll probably get an opportunity. Randy Rosarena, this is a good opportunity for you. It's an opportunity for the right-handed hitters to get at bats in and show what they can do. Rob Refsnyder specifically. He's a guy I look at as a key linch point in this series. If he does well, it feels like this Mariners team will probably do pretty well. Arms-wise, Jose Ferrer, Gabe Spire are going to be crucial for the Mariners. There's a lot of left-handed hitters in this Yankees lineup. Cody Bellinger's been very good so far. You got to keep him quiet. The 2 right-handed hitters you're scared of are Judge and Stanton. Jose Caballero also there. Are you scared of Jose Caballero? I would hope not. As much as I love Cabby, he's not a scary hitter. Judge, Stanton, they're a little bit scary. They have the ability to hit the ball out of the ballpark. And it's going to be difficult for your starting pitchers as well. Luis Castillo, Logan Gilbert, George Kirby. You're facing a lot of left-handed hitters. How are you going to get left-handed hitters out? Lefties hit 278, 348, 466 against Luis Castillo last year. He had a 1.51 whip. At T-Mobile Park, it was better against lefties. And at home overall, he was better, had a whip under 1. But it's his first start of the season. Cold weather, we'll see what he brings. He's historically been good against this ball club, but again, it's a different team. It's a different year. It's a different Luis Castillo, a different New York Yankees. What is he going to bring in this series and in Game 1 to be able to net you a W? Because Game 1 is crucial. Game 2 feels like a toss-up. It could go either way, as does Game 3. Go win Game 1. Go get that first win of the series and then have yourself 2 50-50 shots to win the series. The Yankees have won 4 straight games against this Mariners ball club. They went 5-1 last year, including a series win at T-Mobile Park. That lone game was one of those 50-50 toss-ups against Max Fried. I went 11 innings. And I was at that game, so you had some extra luck. The bottom of the Yankees lineup has struggled. It's been the reverse of the Mariners. The bottom of their lineup has struggled, but the top has been pretty good. Grisham, Judge, Bellinger, Stanton, all have been good. They also have Jazz. That's another guy you got to watch and pay attention to. Bullpen-wise, they've thrown a lot of pitches, but they had an off day Sunday. Bednar threw Friday and Saturday, threw nearly 40 pitches. Tim Hill also threw both those days. All their high-leverage guys have thrown once so far this season. They are going to be available, though. And specifically tomorrow, they will be available. And you got to make them work because as you get into Game 3, Cam Schlittler is a guy that's going to be on a little bit more strict of a pitch limit. He's a guy you're going to be able to get out of the ball game a little bit earlier because they're going to be cautious with him. They want to be careful with his pitch count. But he's a good starter. He's going to be difficult. As is Max Fried. These are going to be difficult games, difficult opponents, difficult starting pitchers for you to face. You got to get to Ryan Weathers. This is a guy that was injured for the most part last year, only had 8 starts. But in 2024, had a 3.63 ERA in 86 2/3 innings. Got injured in May last year. Or in June, pardon. At the beginning of June, was out till September 11th. It's going to be a lot of fastballs for you. 45% four-seam fastball last year. 30% changeup, 19% sweeper. It's the majority of what you're going to see. Right-handed hitters, you're going to see changeups and four-seams. Left-handed hitters, Sweepers and four seams. That's what you're going to see. This should be a guy you can get to. 26 years old. They acquired him in trade over the offseason. Make his first Yankees start a bad one. But he was really good against left-handed hitters in 2024, the last time he was fully healthy. Left-handed hitters hit just 212, 307, 273. They didn't have a homer. That's how the Mariners have gotten a lot of their production. Again, Rob Refsnyder, Victor Robles, Julio Rodriguez. It's a big series for Julio. Big opportunity. You're facing a couple lefties. Take advantage. Get right. Find the right center gap. Get your swing on time. Stop being so off balance. It's going to be changeups and four-seamers. What that means, four-seamers up and in on you, Julio. Changeups down and away. Be ready to hit those. Fastball's up a mile an hour last year. We'll see what it looks like tomorrow. And then changeup was the pitch that opponents hit last year. That allowed right-handed hitters to be better against him last year than they had been prior. In 2024, that changeup was really good. Opponents hit just 193 against it. They hit 286 in 2025 and slugged 571 against it. Sweeper is his best pitch. Lefties are going to struggle. It means you got to have your right-handed hitters ready to go. Ready to hit. Because they're going to need them in order to get to Weathers. Castillo's facing him. Again, first start of the season for Castillo. We'll see what he brings. Game 2, Max Fried, Logan Gilbert. Max Fried in his first start of the season, he started on opening day. 6 1/3 innings. Gave up just 2 hits, 1 walk. Didn't give up a run and had 4 strikeouts against San Francisco. Last year he was really good. First season with the Yankees, he had a 2.86 ERA, FIP just barely over 3, and a WHIP just barely over 1. He had a start against Seattle last year. As I mentioned, that was a 1-game Seattle won against the Yankees last year. That was May 13th. He won only 5 innings, gave up 4 hits, 1 run, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts. Mariners got to get into that bullpen. Got to get these starting pitchers out, specifically Fried and Schlittler, because those two guys are really good. Make the Yankees use the relievers that they haven't wanted to use so far. The bottom 3 guys haven't pitched yet in their bullpen. Make them use those guys. Make it a little bit uncomfortable. Give yourself a shot. Lefties struggled against Fried. You're going to need your right-handed hitters again. He had a whip of 1 against lefties last year. They hit just 209, 282, 393. That slugging percentage actually higher. Righties slugged just 317 against him. It's going to be a lot of ground balls. Not going to walk you. Won't strike you out at a crazy high rate, but he's going to get weak contact. 92nd percentile in average exit velocity. And he's going to use that sinker, which is very much so a sinker that breaks vertically. It's going to have a lot of drop on it compared to the average sinker you see. That means ground balls. You got to find holes. You got to get under it. You got to try and lift the ball. You got to hit line drives. If you can hit line drives, if you can understand your approach of how to hit this guy, you can do it. It's a cutter, sinker, curveball, 4-seam, sweeper, changeup mix for the most part. He does throw a slider, but he only threw it 2% of the time last year. That cutter, that sinker, that 4-seamer, 3 different variations of the fastball. And that cutter and the sinker are the 2 most thrown pitches for him. Sinker going to move in on right-handed hitters. Cutters in on lefties. He's going to try and jam you. He's going to try and get you to roll over. He's going to get ground outs, weak contact again. That is Max Fried's game. You got to try and get the barrel to those and expect that it's not going to be a ton of 4-seamers. Now, if he overwhelms you with 4-seamers, it's going to be more difficult. But expect the cutter, expect the sinker. The last thing on Fried is that because of the sinker and the cutter and the ground balls he gets quick outs. He keeps his pitch count intact and low. You got to work counts. You cannot chase against this guy. If you give this guy the ability to get chase from you and the ability to get strikeouts, it's going to be a much longer day against Max Fried than it needs to be. He's going to be in the zone for the most part, but try and work counts to the best of your ability. Foul off pitches until you get that one mistake. When you get the mistake, take advantage and punish it. Cam Schlittler, starting game 3. He threw 5 1/3 innings, gave up just 1 hit, didn't walk anybody, didn't give up a run, and had 8 Ks in San Francisco in his first start of 2026. As a rookie last year, he had an ERA under 3, a FIP just over 3.7. 73 innings last year, 1.22 whip. He's young. I mentioned this earlier. They're going to be careful with his pitch count, especially if you make him throw a lot of pitches in one inning. Make him continue to throw pitches. Don't bail him out of that inning because they will have to make a call to the pen. And that game 3, you hope, is either for the sweep or is a rubber match. Left-handed hitters last year hit .222 against him. Slugged .310, .313 on base. Right-handed hitters, .211, .304, .376. This is a really good pitcher. He's really good. He gets a lot of strikeouts. He hits weak fly balls. A lot of velocity on the fastball. He threw it 56% of the time last year. Only 32% of the time, though, against San Francisco. His first start of the season against San Francisco was 32% four-seam, 32% cutter, 24% sinker. .88% of the time he was throwing a four-seam, a cutter, or a sinker. 88% of the time it was a version of a fastball. He also throws a curveball, only threw it 10% of the time in San Francisco, though. You cannot let him be able to get outs with all of those fastballs. Foul off the ones you don't like and crush the four-seam more than likely. Topped out at 100 miles an hour against San Francisco. He has the velocity. He gets the strikeouts, but he doesn't get ground balls. He will walk you, work your counts, and you're going to be able to lift the ball. Lift it with authority. Hit line drives. A whole bunch of weak fly balls is going to be frustrating AF. It's pretty much 3 outcomes. It's a fly ball, it's a walk, it's a strikeout. That's how you got to think about this. Make him find the zone. Make him make mistakes. Punish those mistakes. Chicks dig the long ball. It's going to be a difficult series for this Mariners team. It's the first real big test. Comes in the second series of the season. You've yet to see your best bats really be unlocked and find form yet, but you're going to need them in this one. You need Josh Naylor. You need Julio Rodriguez. You need Cal Raleigh. And especially in this series, it's going to be Julio Rodriguez at the forefront of the discussion points because of the 2 lefties you face on Monday and Tuesday. Cal Raleigh is going to get an opportunity to hit right-handed for the first time this season. We'll see if that can pay any dividends for him, if that can unlock him at all. He was really good from that side of the plate last year. We'll love to see him find a groove on that side of the plate here in 2026. Mariners are at 500 after the first weekend of baseball in 2026. We are so freaking back on after a great win on Sunday night. Let's continue this momentum. And let's go win 2 of 3 against the New York Yankees this week. As always, to light the W's in. Go M's. Peace.